Ruin has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
Hello everybody, welcome to Darkest Dungeon! This is an indie game by, I don't know anymore, because I'm a bit stupid. I will edit it in somehow. Darkest Dungeon is a dungeon crawling game with tiny groups, and I already have a save state here. I'm fairly into the game, but we're starting a new game, just for shits and giggles. And we call ourselves Rennekin. Again. And this is our Let's Play state. It's a fairly simplistic game with much depth.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
So, and what you're going to do here in this game is crawling through dungeons with little mercenary groups. It's kind of similar to XCOM, where you have like disposable units, like everyone is just a unit, and it's shit ton of fun because there's so much depth. I just filled in like a week over 40 hours into that game. It's so damn good. So you start your little tutorial mission here. We've always done that. I already have done that. I will explain that. With two characters, a crusader and a highwayman. He's like a well, bullet shooting guy with melee capabilities. He's a pure melee, like a paladin. Classes in this game are very awesome. I will get to that some day later. And you move around those little grids here. The big things are new rooms. The other things are like spaces where stuff can happen. Random stuff like
Run up these
traps.
lanes. Keep to the side path. The hamlet is just ahead.
And you just move forward to the next room over and over again.
Dispatch this thug
Now,
in brutal
combat
fashion.
is
They're all here
turn-based.
for arrival.
Everyone has a different speed, like you see on the bottom left on the bottom right corner, and that determines how fast you're in a turn. It's, again, I will explain it like piece after piece. So, as you've seen, I've caused with that melee attack a bleeding on that hero. I only could attack with my melee because, as you can see there, on every ability there are like yellow and red dots. The yellow dots are like where you can use the ability, on which position. So positioning is very important. And the red dots are who can I attack with that. Like for the Crusader, I have to be for the normal smite on space 1 or 2, and I can attack space 1 or 2. Then there are attacks like this, where there's like a binding piece between them. That means I can attack both spaces at the same time. Then you have like stun, etc. and buff abilities. For example, just here, I will use the stun attack. Now, he resisted it because he has like 25% stun resistance. It's again fairly simple. The data, etc. I will get over time into that. I could also shoot him with like an AoE attack, but that would not make sense at the moment because we're fighting one enemy, and you get huge disadvantages on using AoE on single target enemies. So there are also interactables. They can do something good, they can do something bad. Like this one does something good. There's loot in there.
Leave nothing unchecked.
So
There is much
we have
to be
luck, but
found
there
in
can
forgotten
be
places.
booby-trapped stuff, etc. So,
An ambush. Send these vermin a message.
So,
The rightful
what
owner
can
has
happen
returned,
is
and
you
their
can get
kind
surprised,
is
and
no
if you're
longer
surprised,
welcome.
you can get shuffled around, or in the worst case, the enemies start the turn all before you do. But you can also surprise enemies, so it's like a random stuff thing, and is dependent on your torchlight, which you have on the upper screen. I'm explaining that later. So we're going to buff him up with a stealth shot, which gives him a little damage buff. He's using an AoE on my guys, and he is whipping my paladin dude, my crusader. So we could try to go for the stun. This ability has 100 stun base, 100%. So, and he has 50% stun resistance. So it would be a 50-50 chance to stun him next turn. Or we could do damage, but I rather prefer to stun him because he can dish out quite some damage, and that is not preferably. It's shitty that he shuffled us around because he's better in the back lines while the Crusader is better totally in front. But I don't want to waste turns on shuffling around dudes at the moment because they are like the first two dudes you get. You get also an achievement of those two dudes to survive the entire game, which is highly unlikely, especially on your first playthrough. Now he whips my other dude. So the game in theory is very simplistic. There's not much standard depth in there, but there is tons of depth in the game as you go deeper, and it teaches you very well in theory how to approach things. So if you kill enemies, there will be corpses. Corpses block your attacks still, but they don't do anything. They die over time, and then everyone moves forward. But at the moment, you can also attack them, so that is also a possibility. But at the moment, that corpse blocks the first two spots, so I have to attack that guy still with my ranged abilities. I can, however, attack that with my Crusader, he has still the dot up, and the corpse has 2 HP left. So at the end of the round, the corpse will die. I'm talking very much about the game right now, but you know, you want to understand some of that. It teaches you over time again. I'm just trying to, you know, try to. So, what you can do is now, you can go home now, or you can continue exploring. We still haven't opened that chest, so we are going to do just that, and it's trap. Nothing happened, my guy resisted what was in the trap. So, nothing bad happened. Now we can go, because we had like 100% of the dungeon explored. Now, as you see, you get quest rewards and get, for stuff you haven't used, like your provisions here, you get a bit of money back. And you get also these heirlooms which are required for upgrading your characters. Well, for upgrading stuff that can upgrade your characters. That's what I wanted to say. So, some of you might be like turned off right now because I talk too much about the game mechanics, but
Hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
So, the stuff here, help menu, who cares? So the baseline story, if you haven't got that from the intro, your ancestor earned that all here, like the entire estate there, the Hamlet, and he built like his little whoring paradise and was quite rich, but he lusted for those mysteries surrounding that shit, and he excavated and found the Darkest Dungeon, which the game is named after, and with the Darkest Dungeon he unleashed like terrors upon the world, and you have to hire mercenaries to undo that. Okay, so we are going to hire now our first 2 mercenaries,
Women and men, soldiers
which
and
is
outlaws,
a plague doctor,
and corpses.
who is a debuffer, like a dotter. He poisons enemies, and he has like a little heal he can do, and can also stun enemies. He's very cool. And the Vestal, who is like your all-in-the-day cleric mixed with a character that can holy power smite enemies. So the classes are abstract versions of classes you have in normal fantasy games, but they are made cool, like more unique. And I love unique classes. I love classes like the Plague Doctor, because he's not like, oh, I'm the warlock kind of guy who puts dots on the enemies and waits. No, he throws bombs who are poisonous and has stun grenades and stuff like that. He's very cool. Now, it's a graveyard. Here you can see all of your heroes who died, and here you can see like the lore part, and you can see stuff that you can unlock here, like little cutscenes and stuff. Now, to make it more personal, we give our little dudes here names, and I will, for the first time, name this guy Renikin, even though I don't like, well, I like being paladins, but they are like in the okay, that should not have happened. What happened there? I don't know. So but those classes are in the literal sense what they are. Like the paladin is religious, which is not what I am, but just for purposes, right? We call this guy another friend of mine. We call him with, that's a gamer tag of a friend of mine. Then we have him. We call him Delta Wolf. And we call her Sergeant Pingu. So that are like my most of my closest friends. And this is our little first hero group. And I would say, after all that, I see you on the next episode where we try our first dungeon. And I will talk more. Yes! So see you on the next one. Goodbye, ciao, ciao, auf Wiedersehen. Peace.